Noel, it's delighted to meet you.
Kevin, very nice to meet you. Welcome to the classic Riviera stand. How can I help you?
Thank you. It's great to see you here, actually. It's a phenomenal car, I must say. And it's more than a car, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's a statement, actually.
Indeed.
And it's also the fulfillment of a dream. I'm not a petrol head as such, but I've always had a thing about mechanical devices. So when I was a little boy, I liked go-karts, and then when I was old enough to drive, I made my own sports car. Wasn't very good, but I made it. And then I've collected cars over the years. Did a bit of motor racing, did a bit of flying helicopters, and then 18 months ago decided to build my own car, just for me, because I couldn't see anything else that I wanted. And the result is behind us.
It truly is exquisite, I must say.
Thank you. Well, what I like about it is it generates that kind of compliment and that kind of enthusiasm. I'm not denigrating any of the other products here, but as you appreciate, quite often if you've got a supercar, particularly the hypercars, they can generate envy, they can generate negative response. This, La Riviera, makes people smile.
Absolutely.
Ladies like it, which is very, very important. A lot of women don't actually like the macho sort of spaceship supercar. They like this because it reminds them of Grace Kelly and it reminds them of Hollywood.
Absolutely. It's otherwise the notion less is more, and money can't buy class, right? In a way.
All of that.
Noel, what inspired you to do this specific model of car?
The Jaguar SS100 is arguably one of the iconic cars of all time. It can be argued that it started the great sports car era for British manufacturers, and this is a celebration of that car. It's not a replica, it's not a kit car or anything like that. I created this from the engineering and design cues of the SS100. I wanted a car that would make me smile and other people smile.
Yeah.
I wanted something stylish because I live just outside Grasse here in the south of France. I also live in Monaco, and you see these Ferraris and things rumbling around, and I wanted something that people would smile and look at it and go, hey, that's a great car, and I wonder a little bit about the bloke that's driving it.
Absolutely.
So it took me 18 months working with top class engineers, a brilliant company in England where they put their top people on it, and this is the result. I then thought, well, I might be able to sell a few. We can only make 5 a year. My company can only make 5 a year, so they're very exclusive.
Absolutely. And those 5, are they different colours, or are they going to be the same colour?
Kevin, you can have anything you want.
Oh, superb. And
absolutely anything. This one's got, this is an auto gearbox, which some purists go, oh, I don't think I want an auto.
I prefer auto myself.
Yeah,
but,
well, you can have it with an auto box.
Yes.
The original SS100, you couldn't have auto.
Sure.
You couldn't have air conditioning. And I have a very close friend who has an original car, and he never seems to get to his destination. It always breaks down.
Yes.
This doesn't break down because it is so well engineered.
Absolutely. And it's meticulously to every detail, isn't it?
Yeah.
Of the
Absolutely.
SS1.
Absolutely. I like doing things properly.
Yes.
And I didn't want something that people would look at, and purists would look at and go, cheap.
Yes.
He cut a corner there, should have done this. You can't fault this car.
So this is truly a collectible, isn't it?
Well, I think so. I think so. Each car will be named after an iconic place on the French Riviera. So this one is Grasse, because I live near Grasse, which used to be the centre of the perfume industry here. We have sold 2 cars. One of them will be Monaco, because that's what the new owner wants.
Yes.
So it's sort of numbered, limited edition, except there are no numbers.
Absolutely. Now, as far as is on a production basis and delivery basis, can individuals, in Bermuda, in stateside, can they obtain one of these?
This car can be registered anywhere in the world.
Right.
Because it conforms to EU and British regulations.
Sure.
That transfers to the US market, to anywhere. Absolutely. I'm yet to be defeated by somebody saying you cannot register it. It's tough here in Monaco. They are really tough.
Indeed. Yes.
And This, as you can see, is on Monaco plates.
Yeah.
So it conforms with all regulations because it's classed as a 30-year-old car. It's brilliant.
Yes,
no
absolutely.
tax. No tax.
That's a remarkable achievement.
Yeah.
Congratulations on it.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Noel, I must say, I love the Global Positivity Network.
Thank you.
And for ages, I haven't listened to the radio or watched news. Predominantly, I mean, I get actual factual feeds, but not people's opinions. And the reason I don't watch it is because there's a lot of negativity and a lot of tosh and people's opinions, essentially, which can be quite negative, essentially.
Couldn't agree more.
And I've always wondered, wouldn't it be great to have a radio station, a network, for example, covering the globe, as well as, I know you have Monaco and the Tranquility one as well, which I love to listen to in the night, to relax oneself, to go to sleep, essentially. And wouldn't it be nice? But no one has done it, and you've finally done it. So do tell me more about it.
What I decided to do was create a place that people of a positive mindset could go and feel very comfortable. So there is no negative news, no traffic and travel. For goodness sake, you can get the weather and everything off your phone now.
Absolutely.
We don't have any DJs, slightly ironic because I started my career with the BBC as a DJ. But, a radio station is only as good as its worst commercial. So we have no commercials.
That's remarkable.
What we do have is positivity partners. So here in Monaco, there are 3 commercial organisations that have signed up as positivity partners. And they basically are mentioned as part of the flow. So you don't suddenly get a change in music, you don't suddenly get a different voice, but you do get a little bit of information about companies that are of a positive mindset. So I've done it for Monaco. I'm going to do it in other territories. I'm looking for partners, actually, because I want to grow it very, very quickly.
Sure.
I'm going to get into the leisure industry, so we will have positively classic cars.
Yes.
I'm going to do it in every single UK city, because I actually think the state of UK commercial radio is very poor.
Absolutely.
But we just have exactly the same ethos. It's free, the music's great, you can interact with it. So if you've got an inspirational comment that you want on it, record it on your iPhone or whatever, send it to us, email it to us, and we'll put it on the air. So you listen to great music, inspirational words, and nothing is negative.
And that's amazing, isn't it? Essentially, you're starting the whole vibrational frequency on a positive basis there.
I am really hoping that this becomes infectious. I don't want to call it a movement, because that sounds very grand, and it has political overtones. But I'm hoping to get a dynamic energy behind this, so that people say, have you listened to Noel Edmonds' positively shows, to his radio stations? And you can go on TuneIn or go on Apple, and we're currently running over 40 stations.
Wow.
Most are in hold pattern, because I don't have the resources to launch 40 at once. But by the end of the year, we'll be operating at least 20 stations, and I will have 150 running.
That's amazing, because I know I personally listen to Positivity Radio, and I find it amazing.
Well, you've been great, because the social media support is very important, because we can put out any message very quickly.
Yes.
In conventional radio, the client has to accept that it's 7 to 10 days to put a commercial out, generally speaking. By the time you write the script, they okay it, then you get a voiceover artist in, and then you clear the music, you go in the studio, you put it all together, then it has to go to the authorities to be okay for broadcast and whatever. We put out information within 5 minutes.
Yes, and that's what you call real time, isn't it?
Yeah. I want to be positive about everything. So we regulate ourselves, obviously the quality of the broadcasting is very high, and we don't say anything to offend. But if you've got a car dealership here in Monaco and you want a special offer on something, you just tell us about it, and bang, it's out in 5 minutes, backed up on Facebook and Twitter. And in fact, I've just started tweeting.
Yes, I've noticed.
Yeah, well, I came very late to Twitter.
Yes.
And I was waiting for this moment, because I didn't want to get sucked into the negative side of Twitter. And as we know, there are the trolls and the people who are just extraordinarily unpleasant and negative. And fortunately, so far, I've Only got about 3,000 followers. It's early days, haven't been going for a week, but nobody's been very, very nasty.
Yes.
But I will never tweet back. I will never respond to an individual because my words can be misunderstood.
Yes.
But you will get a response on my radio station because
Superb.
you cannot misunderstand my words and my chuckle and my inflections.
Indeed.
And a lot of famous people, particularly in the UK, have got into trouble with their tweets. And it's because people have misinterpreted what they actually were trying to say.
Yes.
By doing it in my radio tweet, you can't miss out. You cannot misinterpret.
Now, the radio tweet is an entirely new thing. I've never heard of it.
Well,
So this is you obviously seem to be pioneering on the radio
Do
tweet
you know,
side.
I don't think anybody has done radio tweets. And that's what I'm doing. And I'm empowering other people to do it.
Yeah.
So if you want to have a radio tweet go out, you just send it to me. And my team just process it and bang, it goes out there.
I mean, I loved the radio tweet that I got, essentially, and it firstly made me laugh,
Yeah.
and that's quite important. You know, not many things make me laugh. So, and secondly, I thought it had so much of passion,
Yeah.
you know, which you can't get from a regular tweet.
Yeah, and it goes back to the old style of radio where you could request something or send a message, but it was cumbersome and it was time consuming and there weren't many shows doing it. But as I roll out the radio stations, they're for the listeners. You can just interact, you can get involved. And we're going to have video streams as well eventually, so you'll be able to send your messages in about a positive place you've gone to. You know, it's the opposite of TripAdvisor and all these things where places get slagged off. I'm not interested in getting into that area.
Yes.
I only want to know positive stuff. It's not sugar-coated.
Absolutely.
I'm not away with the fairies.
Yeah.
I realise it's a tough world,
Yes.
and at times a very nasty world, but it doesn't mean I have to bring it into my world.
And be that,
Yeah.
for that matter. So, yes,
Yeah.
indeed.
So if you're like-minded, join me. Positively Happy and the whole Positivity Network is
Indeed.
just for you.
Absolutely. Yes, I know we've had a tremendous amount of interaction through
You've
Twitter.
been brilliant. You've
Thank
been
you, Noel.
fantastic. Yeah, really good. And I'm getting more and more people
Yeah.
that are going, wow, how long has this been around? I said, well, I launched it in 2015 and it's going to be massive.
Yeah.
I just know within a year it's going to be huge.
And the amount of activity that has been happening on our networks, my followers, the company followers, and all the social networks, I mean, it's snowballing at the moment.
Yeah.
It's just, you know, it's like a tornado going.
Yeah.
So I'm thrilled, you know. It's nice also to hear such positive things from our members and from our, shall we say, subscribers and users and followers, essentially.
Yeah. If you can't bring out the best in people, you're mixing with the wrong people.
Absolutely, I completely agree. It's been quite nice to know for our members about you, essentially, your success mindset.
My mindset is all about graft. I was brought up by Dudley and Lydia Edmonds in Essex in England. They were both teachers. They invested a huge amount of love and emotion in me. They brought me up with three beliefs: love, security and opportunity.
Right.
And I got into radio with the BBC, and I was at the BBC for 30 years, having gone from radio to pretty much the top of BBC TV in the entertainment side. That may sound arrogant, may sound cocky, but believe me, I'm not a cocky person, but I did it by hard graft.
Yep.
And I would look around at some of my colleagues at Radio 1 and not understand why they weren't trying harder and why they were sloping off to the pub or going to the golf course when I was putting real effort into my product and my brand. And I have a saying, I try my best and then I try a whole lot harder.
Indeed, that's what counts, isn't it?
Yeah, I think what marks success and failure apart, successful people away from people less successful, is one simple word, and it's priority.
Absolutely.
The difference between success and failure is priority, and I always prioritized that I'd put the effort in, I'd come up with new ideas,
Indeed.
and I've been associated with quite a bit of innovation in broadcasting. I'm proud of the TV shows I did, because without exception they all were innovative, they all had something a little bit different.
Absolutely. Noel, what would you say your greatest achievement is thus far?
reaching the age of 66, I think.
Congratulations, I'm stunned that you're 66. You look amazing.
Thank you very much. Yeah, that's my greatest achievement. When all is said and done, it's about the time you've got and the life you lead.
Absolutely.
I'm incredibly happier than I've ever been in my life, which quite a few people of my age can't say.
Mm-hmm.
I'm married to the most wonderful lady who is my soulmate, and the two of us have such a positive attitude to life. Not happy clappy positivity.
Absolutely.
We don't wear caftans and sandals, but we find that the more we regulate our lives with a few routines, we generate greater health, greater positivity, a better feeling, and we become magnetic. People are attracted to us, and success is attracted to us.
It's rare that someone actually says that. I mean, you're talking obviously on a vibrational frequency basis, on a cellular level as well.
It's scientific.
Yeah.
I wrote a book 10 years ago called Positively Happy, and it was about positive mental attitude and cosmic ordering.
Yeah.
And a number of people have said to me over the years, I got your book, and changed my life. I was at a very dark patch, a really bad patch, and reading this really helped me. Well, the book I'm going to publish very soon, called The Positivity Formula, starts with me saying, I wrote this book and I was wrong. Because what I found, I am an inquisitive person, and what I found was that when people said to me, you changed my life, how does this work? I sort of went, I don't know. I really don't know. So I thought I better look into the science. And the science of vibrational energy is fascinating. And for fairly obvious reasons, it isn't mainstream medicine, and it's not encouraged. But I'm going to encourage it with my positivity formula, because I can help you with your health, and health is number one.
Absolutely.
The vibrational balance of your body, the balance of positive and negative energy, is the beginning of your feelings. Feelings come before thoughts, before actions. And we are all interconnected. We are all interconnected by an energy web.
Yeah.
And that is straightforward quantum physics.
Indeed, yes. It's like when you think of someone and they actually call you.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly.
And how do you explain that? Some of them happen to be in Japan or,
Why
or something.
why when you meet some people you think, not so sure. Why when you go into one hotel does it feel right, another hotel you think, dear, I wish I wasn't booked in here. Where you end up sitting on the aircraft. It's all about the vibrations around you.
And when we were having lunch, it was interesting that you mentioned about water.
Oh yeah.
And I thought that was fascinating.
Yeah, well, I didn't realise just how clever water is, because water's everywhere, and we are comprised of water. I hadn't given it a thought. And a lot of my findings associated with the positivity formula relate to my ignorance, that I was just like everybody else, just taking things for granted. Because we're surrounded by water, because we are 70-75% water, we don't think about it.
Absolutely.
But water has actually 4 forms, I now find out. So we know it can be a gas, a liquid and a solid, but it's also a gel. And the water that's in our cells, of which you've got, 40 trillion, nobody really knows actually, that is a gel-like water. It's H320. So even the H2O is wrong.
Yeah.
And water has a memory, and it can communicate. And once you learn this, then you understand how to look after your health.
Absolutely.
It's the second element of the positivity formula, is the need to introduce positive water into your life. And I tell people how to do it.
Absolutely fascinating. Indeed, when we do the in-depth movers and shakers interview, I think we can go into that in a
Well,
much
I will
more.
introduce you to the water, and you will love tasting the water.
Sure, I'm looking forward to it. So, going back to the positivity formula.
Oh yes.
Yes.
I want to get you on it, Kevin.
I'm looking forward to being on it, actually. There's a lot of things that I've looked into that I find, there's commonality, essentially.
Yeah.
And not many people have looked into it on a scientific basis. And,
Well, that's it. I keep underlining to people, what I've discovered is out there. I've just been a bit of a health detective, really. And there are 6 simple things you can do. And when you bring them into your routine, I call it a routine.
Yes.
Because a couple of the things, so down to earth to do with nutrition and water. Then a very different way of exercising, only for an hour a week. Forget going to a gym.
Wow. Okay.
Okay, it's just a slightly different way of exercising, and it works.
Yeah,
I am the
looking
living
at you,
proof.
absolutely. You know.
It works.
Yes.
And I'll probably fall out with a few gym owners and fitness centres.
Sure.
But it's when you combine the 6 things and you do them regularly. And I say to people who say, I haven't got time. So, well, you find time to go to the loo, you find time to clean your teeth. Do these things. Doesn't take very long. Do these things. I won't guarantee you'll be healthier. Only a fool would make that claim. Only a charlatan would say, I guarantee.
Absolutely.
Because I don't know how you're going to behave.
Yes.
But if you do the 6 things, I'm really confident you will be healthier, you will be happier, and you will live longer.
And that's really the priority of every human being, isn't it? Because there's,
I think so.
Yeah, absolutely. Because
I can't see the downside in being healthier, happier, and living longer. I'm struggling to find the downside.
Oh, you never know. Some people might come up with one.
Oh, there'll always be some. Do you know, that's one of the most important things, and I cover it in the book that I'm also putting out. You must care about your fellow human beings, but watch out. Negative people will drain your positive energy.
Absolutely.
And there comes a point where you've helped a friend and you can't do any more without damaging your own health.
Yes.
And you have to walk away and you have to say, look, chum, I tried.
Absolutely.
I really tried, but I don't want to know you anymore. It's really tough, but you have to say it.
But it's needed, because otherwise you go down with them.
Absolutely.
And that's, like Abraham Lincoln said, the best way, obviously in different contexts, but it essentially applies to this, is the best way to help the poor is to make sure you don't become one of them.
Yes, exactly.
So anyway, it's been an absolute pleasure, Noel.
Thank you, Kevin.
And let's go and have some lunch, I would say.
I think this is an extraordinarily good idea. And on that note, 2 very hungry men left the building.
Indeed. Bye-bye.
Kevin, thank you. Thank you very much.